impressive.
We're gonna sell more in January than we will in December. Only one direction, baby. One direction.
Well,
no,
hold on.
Not at all.
Hold on. Okay, I was
Not at all. Not at all. Not even close. Whoa! Welcome to May This Be With You, America's most favorite One Piece TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the angry Santa himself, Josh.
All the Magic fans, don't click away. We are a Magic the Gathering podcast.
For now.
We need
I'm
you.
the only
now.
one on this podcast, by the way, in a great mood right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood.
I'm in a great mood.
I love it. Let's go.
Okay.
I like
And
it
I'm
better
a-
when we're all grumpy, but you know.
Yeah. And Louis, I want you to know, buddy, I know that sometimes we poke fun at each other. I know we have a lot of fun, but I know how much I want you to let you know. I really appreciate your help last week, helping me with those Tudor ALS watches. I know it's a disease that requires a lot of work and fundraising. So I appreciate you posting that watch video and pinning it like you said you would. I just want you to let you know. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
You bet. Did I did that, right?
You did not. You in fact did not. And I had 5 people be like, how can I watch this?
So first off, you never sent me the link. So
I did. First thing.
You sent it after I texted you and asked you for it, and then I posted the link and pinned it immediately.
I think it's pinned. I'm pretty sure it's pinned.
Yeah.
It
got
wasn't the first hour. That's what we get the views.
It got pinned. That's not true at all. And also it got pinned like within 30 minutes. So you know what? I'm gonna accept the appreciation. Thank you, man. I appreciate you as well. And we're joined by George, who raises money for charities and is an amazing dude. So congrats. All right.
I hate that you get to hide behind
tomorrow,
that
if you
veil.
ordered your Tudor watch by Christmas, I'll be hand delivering it all over South Carolina.
I hate that you get to hide behind that.
I hate
veil.
that you get to hide. I hate you do like good things. It's
was a
so
great
frustrating because I want to make fun of you so badly.
That was a
I'm
great
like
roast.
I'm gonna be the crankiest Santa Claus, and all I'm delivering is hope.
All right. Today we are talking about our wishes for Watsi Claus. Our
God,
wishes
that
for
is so terrible.
I
That was
like it.
terrible
That
when we
was-
started it.
it was
It's
Josh.
terrible now.
Oh, Josh. I thought it was pretty
That was
good.
Josh.
So hold on. If it hit, you were just willing to take credit for it like you do every week.
I was gonna say that
As soon as someone says it's terrible, you're like,
you
wait, by
guys
the way.
know I'm a big fan of the titles. This is pretty much the only thing I do in
No,
preparation for
look
the
at my
podcast.
1 a.m. text feed. Titles for the podcast. Titles for the podcast.
It's the only thing I care about. We're gonna do tops, drops, and rolls, which is George's title. I got
Terrible.
That's a good title. That's a good title.
We're gonna
Because
talk
it's on fire.
about. We're gonna talk about Simon's interview. This was the one I was responsible for. I came up with.
Yeah, that was a great title.
It's very factual, but I like it.
That's
To the point.
Sorcery. We're doing George's One Piece again this week. Another One Piece topic.
One Piece podcast.
We're gonna talk about Lorana MSRP. You can go to GameGrove.gg and pick up lots of Lorana at
or you get a
MSRP.
discount if you're a member of
I'm about
Josh's
to say, wait, you're
channel
still
and do a
selling at
podcast.
MSRP? Oof.
You have 4 boxes for box openings,
I have 5.
and you have to be a member. You don't have to be a member to buy my
Yeah,
stuff.
139, which comes up to 144, which is still less.
And we're gonna talk about the MetaZoo letter, the letter to the community. If we have time, last week we also cut the
It's gonna get bugged.
I'm gonna say it. I'm glad we cut it last week because we filmed before the letter. Like we would have done it again this week.
We have every intention on getting there, but it is at the end of the podcast. So
It is at the end of the podcast, and we're starting late, so it's complicated.
2 of us have every intention of getting there.
All right, everyone, happy Merry Christmas, or
Truth.
Happy Holidays, or whatever. I don't know. Don't cancel.
Happy Merry Christmas. You nailed it the first time, buddy.
Don't cancel us for saying Merry Christmas.
Is that still a thing? Is that bad?
I don't know. Worried about it. Probably not. Probably not in our.
Don't cancel me for saying Merry Christmas.
So let's talk about our wishes.
That's the bravery you come here for. Those are the brave takes.
Before we get into our wishes for Watsi Claus, I have to know, George, did you grow up believing in Santa Claus, and when did you find out that Santa wasn't real?
So I was in school, and this person was like, Santa Claus was not real. I was like, you know what? That makes total freaking sense. That totally passes my smell test. How is that fat little grumpy man going from house to house?
He's not. He's
all over
literally
the world?
jolly. He is defined repeatedly as jolly.
I don't know.
There's
man.
no way you can be that cold and jolly.
There is just because you are an old, fat, unjolly man does not mean Santa
Josh
is.
roasted
Yeah, no,
George.
you do not crush Santa on this podcast.
You just called him
Absolutely
fat.
not.
He had
Called me
no-
fat. Don't fat shame me, Josh. I expect an
Josh,
apology.
the fat shamer, he loses 20 pounds.
You know
and
what?
starts
You're right.
fat shaming everybody.
You are my newest hero.
Thank you.
I've
you.
been as a parent of 2 young kids right now. I've seen a lot of Santa Clauses in the last 2 weeks. None of them seem happy. None of them seem
No,
like happy
of course not.
individuals.
Why?
So,
They're from the North Pole. It's cold.
my daughter came up to me and she was like, "Daddy, I saw Santa Claus today, but it wasn't the real Santa Claus because his beard came off." Josh,
That's
did you
pretty
grow
good.
up believing in Santa Claus? Were you?
I did. I still
Yeah.
remember the day that I found out there was no Santa Claus.
It's the worst day of his life. It was yesterday.
It was my, listen, just because I embrace the joy, okay? I don't own a store like you own.
I'm still reeling.
I don't have the hatred in my heart like you do.
It's like, I can't take the pain.
So this is not going to go over well, but we're not doing Santa Claus with our kids. Like our kids, like
You know what?
Santa
Good for you.
Santa is a character. Like we say, Santa is the same as Mickey. They're not real, but we can still have fun with them. Like they are characters that's what we do.
I say Santa's like a Curiosa instead.
A curio, George. It's a curio.
Yeah, that's what I say is like.
I believe in Mickey, Santa, and Bob Iger because I'm on this podcast, and that is
Yes.
the way.
The goat Bob Iger, bringing back the divvy. Good job, Bob.
All right. So if Watsi was Santa Claus and we could ask Watsi to fix some things or for anything.
No, buddy. This is a very simple topic. How do you not introduce this properly? This is the wishes from WOTZY Claus. You get one wish. You get one magical wish for Magic the Gathering, and you get to make one wish. It's not your wishes. It's not your list. Okay, what is this? No, you get one.
You only got one. You asked Santa Claus for one present.
Okay,
That's
we never
some
said
pressure.
only one. But I'll tell you what, Josh. You seem to know what you're talking about. So, what is your one wish for Watsi Claus?
My one wish for WOTZY Claus is that you pay attention to the pre-show rundown. That is my one wish for WOTZY Claus, that you stop taking phone calls and you pay attention.
I'm sorry that somebody called the store and I had to buy their
No,
card.
I have a business. I hate everything else in life because of it. Like, what do you want from me? If I had one wish, and I had to keep it, because like when you wish things from Santa, there's like a line, right? You got to keep it somewhat realistic. It can't be too outrageous, right? You can't be like, I want Elon Musk's rocket ship, because you're never gonna get it.
I don't know, man.
You're never gonna get it.
I was always the shoot big fan.
Really?
I
If you fall, you land on a cloud, kid.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I ever asked for was Pokemon Pinball, and I actually got it. I prepared myself for the depression of not getting it, and I got Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I asked for an Xbox one year and I got it when I was 11, and it was the single greatest. It was like my mom was like, "Yeah, this is your Christmas present. You're not getting anything for your birthday, and you better play it. And you can only play it 1 hour a day." And I was like, "Dang,
You better play it for 1 hour a day, but that's it."
maximum time. You better beg me to play more, but it's only 1 hour a day, Louis."
The joy of me giving you this gift is I get to tell you no when you ask to play it. So start asking, kid.
Shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms. I think I'd use my wish and cutting down the number of variants. I think it's that important to me. I think I really do. I thought about this a little bit. I think that would be my one wish.
So you know what? I had a great thought this week on everyone on Twitter is
Picking
like
each other up by loving each other.
All Magic Twitter is right now is like, proxies are okay. Stop shaming people's wallet. I want to play against your deck, not your wallet. Let people use proxies in tournaments, blah, blah, blah. I had this thought of like, is WotZ doing so many variants because it makes it harder for counterfeiters? Like, in other words, the more variants that they do, right? Like, think about the One Ring, and there's a billion different versions of it. At some point, will we lose the modern frame, and then like the counterfeiters now have to counterfeit and create more? So it's such a wide breadth of cards that they can't get it accurate. Does that make sense?
So I guess if that was causing a problem for counterfeiters, wouldn't they just target one type, the one that brought them the most money, and just counterfeit that one?
Yeah, but the type of card changes every set, right? Like the showcase frame, the different variants change every set.
Sure,
so
but if they just targeted the base But if they just targeted the
Right.
base frame, they could just do it for every set.
But if you listen to what I just said, it was like, are they working on the way to get away from having any modern frame? So you don't have the base version of a card. And instead, like what we're seeing with Murders at Carla Manor, there are 3 different variants. Like their Santa Claus is doing the opposite of what you asked for. It's like you asked for a PlayStation and instead you get a book, right? Like that's what you got for Christmas.
It's fine. I can't read.
That's my thing.
That's why I said it, bud. Got
I
you.
know. What do you, I don't know. Just this is a random thought I had this week, but
That's a random thought.
Yeah, I don't know if that doesn't pass my smell test to me. I don't think they would like every set of Magic cards would look. There'd be no
I gotta get rid of the counterfeiters. Get rid of the keep version of the cards. They'll never see it coming.
yeah, but Josh, what you just said is like the way that it is, right? Like no card looks the same now anyway.
Well, no, like your base common with no additional frames, they have similarities across multiple sets. They have different set symbols, of course, but they, for the most part, the card is built the same.
Yeah, but like they even like in the reprint of Lord of the Rings, they even got rid of that. There was not a single base version card in the whole set.
Yeah, but, okay, but that's a special. It's even labeled a special edition reprint product. It's the same cards and it's meant to be different. If it, that's. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with you, but I see where you're coming from.
So you want to get rid of the amount of variants. So what's the ideal? Like what's the ideal?
A certain number of variants I think is healthy because it creates the ecosystem you kind of alluded to, where you have a chase version of something for people who want to collect and an affordable version for people who want to finally play standard when they're totally bringing it back in the new year. That's definitely going to happen, guys, and build decks cheaply. Right. So a certain number of variants is good. I don't think we need 4 different or 5 different variants of every card for every set. I think it's too far.
So what's perfect? Do you want like one showcase, one?
Well, if I had that answer, I'd be the head of WOTZY, design R&D.
What does the Santa Claus look like, right? Like,
did you just call him Thano Claus?
Santa Claus.
Half the variant's gone. That's perfect. I'm Thano Claus. Half the variant's gone. Let's get it down to 2. From 4 to 2.
Wasn't Throne of Eldraine? Didn't they have like that was the original one, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they have your base variant?
And then it's just your showcase.
Foil,
I thought, yeah.
Showcase, foil.
I don't consider foils. The variants of cards are like the base and the borderless. Like if you had that situation, then foils of each. In my opinion, that's I think 2 feels good.
Did they have borderless back then?
It was showcase or whatever it was called. I don't think it was borderless yet.
Because now you have in every set, right? You have base, showcase, borderless, or extended art. And then now they've also added, like in the next Murders at Karlov, you got a special one, which is the frame break or the parchment one or the neon blacklight ink, which is a terrible idea. I would accept your gift, but I don't think that'd be my gift.
What gifts are you getting? Who's walking up and be like, "Hey, Louis, you've been inspirational. You've done a lot. Look at how many subscribers your shorts get you. Good job. Here's a gift." And you're like, "I don't accept your gift."
No, I would like. I think your gift is good. I think that's.
I don't like your gift.
But what's the scenario where you're like, "I don't accept your gift"?
George, why don't you like it?
I like the variants. People like variants. I mean, like they're fun. I like they add a lot of spice to your life. Like,
a certain number of variants is good. I think we've overdone it. I think we've jumped the shark on the variants.
I want more of the poster arts in Gandalf. Don't at me.
That could be the one variant.
No, but I want all the variants.
It could be the variant.
I think it's a net positive. I do think it. This is gonna be for me a take that goes against what I like say. I think it's a positive for Magic because I think that they sell more product. Like,
that's what
I think
about.
It certainly sells. It brings in more. I've talked to multiple people who are like, "Oh, I own that card, but man, that one looks sweet." Like
when their set starts saying like Lorana, maybe they'll get rid of some variants. I don't know.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so.
But as a person who buys singles and sells singles, it is way too much. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks to process. It sucks to ship out. It sucks to organize. It is.
I think it's confusing, but I think like the best variant is the next variant. Like, and that's what WOTZY gets, right? If you're a consumer, the best variant is the one you don't have yet.
So I gotta get this now. I'm getting passionate about a topic I didn't plan on.
That's why they buy the new boxes.
That is a god awful take.
Yeah,
that's why they buy the new boxes.
But look at something like you could capture some of the magic of something that like Sorcery has, where you have a variant in it, and when you pull it, it feels special. You're like, oh my god, this is cool. You could bring that
serialized cards.
Yeah.
You could bring that back. You could have serialized cards as well.
Serialized cards with different art would do that, I think. Yeah. Serialized cards with the same art don't
go steal Magicthegathering.
And listen, God, this take is so. Serialized cards are clearly working. They're clearly.
I don't know about that. Like the sets that look at the sets that have serialized cards.
I do every day.
The market value is underperforming sets like Wilds of Eldraine and Lost Caverns of Ixalan that don't have serialized cards. The standard sets.
They have chase items in them, and also you're comparing apples to oranges here. We have slowly been shifting the amount of product that's been printing. We've agreed on that. We've talked about Wizards of the Coast reining things back in over time. You're seeing other things.
First off, we have been saying that. I agree. We have also zero data to back that up.
I'm sorry, we're operating on speculation on this podcast.
Yeah,
welcome to Made to Do with you.
Louis.
I think
get on my level.
Get on my level. Being printed.
I agree that we've been saying it. I agree that we believe it, but
if we believe that, that's also a reason why the sets
you walking back print run speculation on this podcast is easily the most offensive thing that's ever been said on this podcast. Easily, nothing else is close. Just have some pride in your history.
Let me get banned from Magic so my channel can pop, buddy. Okay, let me
do stupid shorts. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
really I'm trying. Nobody likes me.
Wait, do you do shorts too?
I do occasionally. I cut up some videos.
But that's all Louis does now. So he's done with any video.
His shorts are good content, dude. His shorts are good shorts.
Here's what I found: shorts with me in it, nobody wants to see.
That follows.
Customers in it, people like. Maybe it's me. Maybe. It's
my God, Josh, you're in a real city. Just go downtown Chicago and do guess the card, win the card.
You can't steal my idea.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's get one thing very clear. I could. I'm not going to.
And also, you didn't make up guess the card, win the card.
I stole it from Yu-Gi-Oh! I stole it from a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. That's different. That's called innovation.
You love innovation.
All right.
You love innovation. I learned this last week, and you have a really great definition of it.
We have found a way on this podcast for both of you bozos to say Magic the Gathering needs more variants. I want to make sure that that's clear.
I have been consistent in this.
We've gotten here. The Magic needs more variants. So,
I
Louis,
don't think they need more variants.
I think.
How is that my take?
Oh, I think that's your take, bud. I think your take is they need more variants. So now I want to get
headphones working.
I want to give you the floor. Go ahead and take the floor,
over
buddy.
the Santa hat. What's going on?
You're supposed to put the headphones under the hat, Josh. Can you hear us? Okay.
Nope. Louis wants more variants. George wants Magic the Gathering to just cease to exist and all indie TCGs to thrive. I think I've summed up your guys' takes. So on the back of that, I wanted to ask Louis, what do you want from WOTZY Claus, bud? Let me shoot this
more
down.
variants.
Let me tell you, Christmas isn't real.
Now that I know George's answer, the temptation to steal his.
You want to steal it. You ain't got it. You ain't got that dog in you.
I think I know George's answer.
I think I would like to see a reduction in releases.
Really?
Yeah, like
your Santa Clauses suck.
I'd like to see a reduction in releases that
Santa Clauses are terrible.
A reduction in releases that that allows them to focus on creating better play experiences, like experiences that go deeper and engage in a better way. Lost Caverns this year for me.
I like how you're just like, my wish is that the game gets better.
No, like my wish is that if they don't have to go as my wish is that they wouldn't go as wide, instead they would go deeper. Like Lost Caverns, I think was a really, really good set that my community locally has just like they can't go deeper into the cavern. They want to go deeper in the cavern. But the terrible. But like there's going to be another set that comes out, right?
How
like,
deep they want to go in the cavern?
They want to go as deep as possible.
As deep as they can.
Yeah.
As deep as they can.
They just can't get enough
all the way.
So I don't know. And like the gameplay is really good. It's really like they like the limited environment. They love the commander decks. But again, like the next thing is going to come out and it's going to get washed up. Like so that's what I like to see. We had like so many releases this year.
Josh's face, he's disgusted.
I just had a moment that I'm 34 and I'm doing this with my Wednesday night. Like,
imagine being 40.
Good Lord.
It only gets worse.
We're making deeper
Everything
into the
gets worse.
cavern jokes over our favorite card game.
I wasn't making a joke. You
No,
two have
it's worse because you didn't see what you were doing.
you two have the emotional maturity of like a 12-year-old.
Totally fair. That I want you to know. Some of your
listen.
texts me feel unfair. That one hits.
I think you're going to find most of
that
our
didn't
viewers
land.
have the same emotional maturity based on the comment section from that little rant, buddy.
So that's what I was.
God, I love that you two read the comment section to use it against each other, never to actually hear what they have to say.
Wait, what did I just reference? What did I just reference? I just said he's going to get roasted for not realizing the joke he just made.
It's like the comment section is just used as a weapon, which I support.
It's a good weapon. So I've embraced the release cycle, the release schedule. And because I've fully come around on like not everything's for me and just become okay with it. I've really just embraced that. And because of that, I actually like how many products are coming out now. I really do. I hated it when I started. I hated it. I couldn't. But now when I just choose like Lord of the Rings Special Edition,
they have totally proven the consumers want to keep up with it. And like it drives content creators crazy. They have totally proven
what is your metric that proves that, George? What is
record-breaking sales? Record-breaking sales. That's the metric.
But
what other metric do you want to use?
So Louis, if they in the same scenario, let's take out 3 sets from 2023. Do you think they sell the same number of boxes? Because I don't.
Say that again. Give me
in 2023. Let's take out the worst 3 sets. Right.
Okay. What would that be?
Lord of the Rings Special Edition.
So you take out March of the Machine Aftermath.
Sure, Lord of the Rings Special Edition, probably, and I don't know, whatever. The point being, do you think that they sell as many boxes? Do you think the game gets in as many hands? Do you think as many people? I don't think so.
Yeah,
and that's my thought is based on how we see people purchase Magic product, like on release.
I think my answer again is like I think it does because all those resources go to the other product. So now I'm not just even talking about money from a consumer perspective, but from Wizards' perspective. Like look at Lord of the Rings Special Edition. Nobody knew what was in it. Nobody had any clue what the product was because it was sandwiched in between 2 major I guess Doctor Who is a major release, but Doctor Who and Ixalan, 2 large releases. It was sandwiched in between them, and nobody knew what it was. So those resources from a company standpoint could have gone into different things. I don't know.
Doctor Who sold almost 20,000 boxes on TCG Player, by the way.
That's good.
Collector boxes?
No, just total between Commander decks and collector boxes.
So not boxes, because Commander decks aren't boxes. That's why I was qualifying that as.
Okay, 20,000 products.
Okay. How many collector boxes?
3,000.
Gotcha. Interesting. I knowing the print run of a collector box would be wild when you start thinking about like when we start talking about Lorana and indie TCGs.
The GOAT.
Like, man, like so 3,000 collector boxes sold on TCG Player compared to what was Lorana's. We'll jump.
Don't preview it. Don't preview it, dude. Don't ruin it.
Lorana had 7,000, 10,000, including the cases. 10,000 boxes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Of course, it's GOAT.
So
he's been saying this for years.
I guess this goes to my point. Like,
that's Bob Iger.
What did Doctor Who really do for the Magic community then? If it sold,
are you kidding?
Boxes?
Come on, buddy. Like, what?
Come on, boo. It was innovative. First of all, it was only 2 products. Very innovative. Second, it's like Louis, like it brought in a whole bunch of Doctor Who fans.
No, but it also like listen.
Yeah.
How many Magic fans are also Doctor Who fans? Just because it didn't fan service you doesn't mean it didn't fan service a large portion of the Magicthegathering community.
So I think,
and that's all Magic is, right? All Magic is fan service to people who like Magic. That's all it is.
I do think there's a chunk of people that it influence. I think the cards are really good.
There's a chunk.
I think the cards are really good. Like I think as Magic players, there's a lot. I think there's more people buying Doctor Who singles who don't care about Doctor Who, but they made good Magic cards. Like I think
so that's something it did for the community.
That's the biggest one. But those Magic cards could have been put into a regular Magic the Gathering set. They could have been honed into Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They could have been honed into the
keep your commander cards out of my standard set. Standard's coming back in 2024, boo boo.
I just think reducing the number of sets and valuing things out and putting the creative elements that they are doing in a lot of the stuff will go deeper. So
you're not wrong. That's the popular consensus is like it's too many releases, and I think it's
popular because people don't like to spend money, right? It's like box prices are always going to be too high, but like at the end of the day, like the consumer's willing to tolerate it. Like this isn't hard. If the
2022 and 2023 have felt like a stress test though, and just
it has, and like the consumer.
But like how long can you stress test the system?
They've made it clear that they're not going to add any more releases next year.
How do you say that prices are okay when the box that you just said was a success in Lord of the Rings special?
I did not say that set was a success.
No, he did not say that.
So it's one of the three worst sets of last year. Yeah. So it's like the opposite of what you just said. I said.
Okay.
Put the headphones underneath the hat.
How do you? But like.
Backwards head.
How do you say that there's not any issue in pricing when those are selling on Amazon?
I didn't say there was no issue in pricing. I never once said that.
Josh, is that not what he just said?
So
he just said the consumer has not rejected the price.
But you do this to me too. You do this to me too. It's like you're framing him like the villain. He's not saying that it's not Magic should be cheaper. He's not saying he doesn't wish for players the box was cheaper. He's stating that Wizards of the Coast has found that they can increase the price of the box and we will still pay it.
We'll buy it.
That's the only statement he's making.
Won't, because boxes are selling for less on Amazon than from distribution to stores. So that, in fact, says that the consumers aren't willing to spend what WotZ wants them to spend for their product. Is that not true?
That is not true, because WotZ probably doesn't care as much as you care about that.
Okay.
They care that they're selling.
If we can't agree on that, then we.
But they are unless they're releasing fraudulent information, they are selling a record number of products.
Okay.
Right. So overall, across the year,
above what we pay
across the year, we're willing to continue to buy the box.
$1 less than we pay on Amazon.
Oh, I'm talking about on TCG Player.
On TCG Player, it's over what we pay.
Yeah. So it's on TCG Player. Don't sell on Amazon.
My point, it doesn't matter. So, George, what do you want from Christmas?
I want them to fix collector boxes and make them for collectors. I want I want a very small amount of very rare cards in each collector box. I want them to be limited like crazy. I want stores to beg for collector boxes. I want collector boxes to be, I hope you guys are sitting down. I want collector boxes to be for collectors. I want serialized cards. None of this out of 500 bullshit. I want out of 50s. I want out of hundreds. I want real limited cards. I want one-on-one superfractors. I want autograph cards. I want art cards. I want everything.
You want artists or autographs?
No, the Planeswalkers sign him, dude.
I want Garfield's signature on a card. I want to have the artist sign the cards. I want to have a bunch of crazy stuff in the collector boxes. I want stores to beg for collector boxes and get allocated like crazy because there's just not enough. Let the players have their fun with the player box. That's great.
God,
have fun.
That is such a better name than the play box. The player box.
That's because I'm great at marketing. Let them have their player hater box. That's your box. It'll be the player hater box.
Be a player. Get the player box.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And let the collectors have their collector boxes, but make it collectible. I mean, who the hell wants a foil common in a collector box? Come on. Come on. Nobody wants this.
I've said that for
nobody wants this.
Started.
Like follow sports. Just copy what works. Come on, man. Come on, Chris. I'm on your team, baby. You have the chance to be the Bob Iger of TCGs.
Did we just get a genuine a realistic make collector boxes great again rant
Yes.
on this podcast. Did we just get that?
Yes.
I feel like
They
we
were
just
never
got
great though.
What?
They were never great though. Like that's never
you know,
been
no. You know what? No, I'm gonna give. That's not true. Like the 4-pack thing. The 4-pack box.
thing?
The 4-pack boxes were pretty.
Double Masters?
Yeah.
Or VIP?
They were okay. The VIPs were great.
VIP was pretty good.
The VIP was great. Now I think they could have gotten rid of like again. VIPs are a perfect example. What the hell do you want with a foil common though?
The problem with VIPs is then they just like reprinted all the cards in better variants and better frames, and there was nothing.
I want
the same
I
art.
want
Yeah,
collector
so weird.
boxes to be insane. Like, come on, man.
Do you know that was my biggest gripe with Commander Masters?
Put the original art. Like give put a swatch of like the original art in a card. Make a patch card.
What, like a download link to it?
What do you mean?
It's all digital.
He's trying to get you to say Magic Original Art NFT. Come on, bud.
I'm in.
Get with the program.
I'm in.
Louis will call me one night. It'll be
TCGs and NFTs have never gone bad before.
Years for thinking that the Magic art was like oil on canvas painting that they could clip out and put in a card.
Is it not?
It's all digital.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
That's why Sorcery's winning.
This is but go with Josh's idea.
This is why Sorcery is winning. Get on their level, Chris.
I don't think that they could do that.
They won't do that.
The amount of
that was
time,
not the question.
The amount of
question was
time
not,
that
will they do
Sorcery,
it?
the amount of time that Sorcery wastes by having it not digital, like it makes sense for Sorcery, but Magic couldn't do it.
I mean, you could do something other than cut up the original artwork.
I know.
Like, you could do signatures.
Hold on.
You could go find another piece of their original artwork.
I got you, George. I want the suit that Chris Cox wore during the fireside chat.
Yeah.
I want patches of the suit.
Card. Are you telling me you wouldn't
on
want
the
that
most
card?
reprinted card of the year? The most reprinted card of the year comes with swatches of Chris Cox's suit.
Like, or outfits that he's worn to cocktail parties.
Come on,
Just
man. Like,
that
do
suit.
something with the collectible box.
Suit.
And also, all right, you're going to be some real unpopular? Shout out in the comment section. Make it expensive. Don't make it $299. Don't make it $349. I want $500 as the floor.
So that's like this. The cost for a store is $500 for your one collector box.
No. I'm talking about like for the consumer.
No. He's still got to make his tendies, baby. So calm down. Listen, George. If you did that, I'm actually on the surface. I'm okay with it. I think if that's the case, I want the price, and I think I want this anyway, but it won't happen. I'd like the price of the play booster to stay at like 120-ish. It won't happen.
I'll be honest, that was my secondary wish.
It can't be that.
Now, if I had 2 wishes for Santa Claus, it'd be that.
If we're gonna have this massive disparity in like
we have seen some other TCGs
versus
I won't say Pokemon out loud because Louise says, why do you always compare them? So I'm not gonna say Pokemon out loud. But we have seen some other games raise their prices and then the market completely reject the price increase. I'm not saying Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, Pokemon put 2 hollows in it that nobody wants.
It's like a collector's box. Like, all right, I also, so help me God, Chris Cox, if you do this idea and you put a single piece of artwork in the player hater box and the collectible box, you're done to me.
So you want all you need
nothing.
artwork.
So you
no same artwork. No same. Make it collectible.
Could you just like take the player box and be like, white card, text?
Sure, I don't care about the box.
What if you could only get the foil versions of the cool stuff you're talking about in the collector box?
No, because I still got a silk player box.
Josh, isn't this like the opposite of what you want? Don't you want to be able to pull everything from draft to play to like every box?
No, sets have done better in the past when you could pull most of the stuff you can get in the collector box in the set box. But I think with the consolidation of product, if we were to make the collector box a truly declarative and collectible item, if you couple it with really reducing that print run, making things really chase in that product, I think it would work. In the ecosystem we live in, where everything is so closely packed together, I don't think that works.
There would also be no need to have a collector box for every set. There should not.
So you just want one box for most sets
and decks.
I
Welcome to Magic content in 2023. It took you to the end of the year, but you're here, buddy.
Welcome to what I've been saying.
Welcome to Magic content in 2023.
Like
this
collector box for like most sets or some sets.
I think
39 days you got there.
That's a great idea.
I know. It's mine. They're all great.
But like this show would end up just holding them all back and not selling them to us. So
I think that's probably the fair critique. I think if you're going to look for a fair critique of the idea, that's the fair
they
one.
let me break that from Wizards. If that's
let me break that. We could break it all. What if instead of distro holding it over game stores' heads, we had a way to get them outside of that system? What if you could just buy them on Amazon?
I'm in. What? You know what we should do? We should put a QR code.
We'll send you a collector box.
We should put a QR code on the bottom of the box so you can scan it and get a prize.
If you buy a CN2 box, you can have a free $500 collector box. I swear.
Can I change my wishes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna change my wish. I still believe in my wish, but George's statement right there just made
you guys are such greedy kids. You cannot change your wish.
I want play boosters to have a surprise in them, and that is code cards in every pack.
No, I don't want that. I want a Jack in the Box prize.
Oh,
I want a decoder ring. I want a a trinket of some form in every box. Completely unrelated to Magic.
George has made Magic actual cereal.
Code cards for Arena would make me play Arena.
Yeah. Code cards. Well, first of all, that has been my take all of 2023. Welcome to my take now. You're right.
Agreed with you on every
that's true.
time
that's
you said
totally
that. George, which has disagreed about me and then used that for his Santa Claus wish.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Nothing.
But you are that.
Have you argued for better collector boxes?
No, don't worry about it.
I would argue that if you got code cards in every play booster, we might actually be in a world where people would consider playing standard because you'd have the cards. You 100%. You'd have them anyway.
That's the easiest way to revive.
100%. Boom.
Yep.
I like how the only person who hasn't played a game of Magic the Gathering in 42 years rolled their eyes, by the way.
Okay, that was good. Next week on the podcast, we are going to talk about our highlights of Magic in 2023 and our lowlights in Magic.
Just be Lord of the Rings for highlights. Can we just nobody's allowed to pick Lord of the Rings as their highlight.
We're going to do like what are the best products and what are the worst products.
Yeah,
nobody's allowed to pick Lord of the Rings for best product.
It's going to be an open.
It's going to be best products. Which one's rank is good? How do you not get this, bud? You did a watch podcast. Get with it.
I did.
You're a big deal.
It was not pinned, but I did one.
All right, George, walk us through tops, drops, and rolls. And
what
this means.
So this is a big deal in the industry that actually has like real collectors and real value to it. Sports, You guys hate Christmas, and I hate both of you. So this guy listed a ton of superfractors from the new baseball set. For those of you who don't know, superfractors are one of ones. He listed like I think 15% ish of the entire print run of one of ones very quickly after release date. And everyone was like, hey, that seems impossible. And the guy's like, nope, I got them. And like somebody bought them and like they passed authentication. They're like, he's got 15% of like all superfractors from the new set. That seems odd.
People come to the market with all the product at once.
It doesn't seem that seems like a major miss in this scheme, doesn't it?
Like these people are so smart to figure out how to steal tons of money and they drop the ball at the 1 yard line.
I'm going to get into that in a minute because this is where it gets. That's one of the places where it gets interesting.
Okay.
So, Topps and Fanatics, to their credit, comes out and is like, "Listen, those are authentic cards. They were meant to be discarded. They have errors on them. Like they were imperfect, and they were meant to be destroyed."
So this is what we speculated with the 1-of-1 ring. We remember this on the podcast where we talked about because it got a PSA 9.
Yeah, how many did they have to print and destroy?
And
God, Lord of the Rings is the GOAT.
So they did that. They made multiple copies of all the cards, and then they were supposed to destroy them.
Yeah. And so one of the issues that people have highlighted before is that this was printed in deep in the heart of Texas, land of Buc-ee's, land of freedom. And they used non-permanent labor to print these cards. And somebody seems to have stolen a bunch. And now it's becoming clear that like this has been a somewhat ongoing problem. I think it was a Jeter card, a very famous baseball player, who signed a card that wasn't supposed to exist, that was never released to the public, but some guy had 3 of them. Now it looks like it might have also hit Upper Deck. Like, this is a big deal, and it's also like it's a question of like, wait a minute, like, how easy is it to steal these kind of like very, very expensive cards from your factory? Why? And you guys are making a mint. Why are you guys like not just like hiring staff?
Real people.
Like, why are you guys like, going to like,
we
the
saw
temp agency to print priceless cards?
We saw this in Pokemon with the Fusion Strike hits. So again, some joker held on to the hits for a couple months and then was like, oh, I need a bunch of money, and showed up to an LGS with all the hits in a stack this big.
I'm about to say the one stack of everything supposed to be in my box.
Yeah. And like, again, just like completely dropped the ball at the 1 yard line.
I think this is actually a really big problem for like all card companies. I mean, this has to be a warning sign.
So are we going to see this happen in Magic, or is somebody going to post like a 10 of 100 Soul Ring, and then
we have already seen this a little bit in Lorana with the Mickey and the Maki.
We'll see this with Magic when they make something worth stealing.
Oh, that's Pokemon. So
Pokemon already got stolen.
I'm taking it from you, Louis. I don't know how you didn't jump on that. I don't know, but whatever. I got you.
Like, this is like I think all card companies that have cards of value, maybe including Pokemon, they need to figure out a way to like protect this from happening. Like, this has become a pretty dominant conversation in sports.
Did the Pokemon one happen before they had their own printers? It must have. Yeah.
No, was it? Was Fusion Strike printed not on the Pokemon?
That would have been Cardamundo. Yeah, because
really
that was late in 2022. I think that they came out and announced they bought their printers. I wonder if that had any weight into, because they know about it.
They did,
and then
they didn't say anything about it. And then like,
keep in mind, like Fanatics operates this printer.
Yeah.
So like, it'd be the equivalent of Pokemon. Or like, this is a problem for the industry, not just for the printer, I don't think.
Oh, but Fanatics owns the printer.
Yeah.
They're a partner in the printer, I think is what technically they said.
These people sound like they did it differently though, and this seems like maybe it's the genius of the scheme. They swiped things that were never supposed to hit the market. Right. So it's they're more likely to go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Where Pokemon Fusion Strike cards were supposed to be in the box.
And I want to give a big shout out to Topps and Fanatics for like being on top of this, and like they're doing what we say. If you got a problem, come clean and like let the market deal with it. Yeah. I don't know how you fix this, but like I think all card companies need to be thinking through this problem pretty seriously.
It does seem like, with the world and our news cycle and how much more quickly information spreads. How long do you think this has been happening for random? How many random cards in TCG spaces, sports spaces are out there that were never meant to be out there and were just never discovered?
What's the name of that card? The McGuire card was like one of the first major examples where they just kept printing it behind the scenes. It's like the rumor.
Yeah. Well, that was I thought that was wasn't that the Jackie Robinson card, or there was one really old baseball card where they realized that like the baseball company was just printing money by printing this card.
I think it was a McGuire card, but I could be wrong.
Well, it was something.
I mean, like, they need, like, I think every card company needs to have a pretty firm plan in place for how do you destroy the cards and how do you make sure they're actually destroyed. Like,
yeah,
that seems to be a pretty common theme. And they need to like listen. Like, I'm not, you gotta pay your people enough that this is not what they are doing. Like, I think, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the company for like a thief. Right. It's clearly the thief's fault. But like hiring temp labor to do priceless cards is kind of asking for problems.
You are opening yourself up to that.
Yeah, I mean, like, that ain't brilliant.
So put yourself in those shoes though, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're a printer, you're sitting there, you see these cards, they're getting thrown away.
Yeah.
Right. Gosh, in that position has got to be tempting. And I know, like, your morals have to come in at some point. Obviously, stealing is bad. Let's just don't steal. We're not stealing.
Josh, remind me not to let you print anything.
But like, man, I'm just thinking, you're a regular guy working a print line. You're sitting there and you see, oh, this could be worth 600,000, 800. You're like, and it's my job to throw it away. You gotta have a lot of integrity to get that done.
That job shouldn't be for the regular guy in the print line,
What,
right?
100%. But I think that's what we're saying was the case.
And this is why these companies need to have their own representatives at the factory, especially for important times like destroying the.
Or just own their own printers. That can never go wrong.
It might be able to. So like if this happens in Magic and like all of a sudden Posey,
I pray to God there's 55 One Rings.
No, hey, Posey's friend of the channel.
Don't put that on Posey. He's gonna be on the podcast next week.
Yeah. Friend of my channel, dude. Don't
like
do
next
Posey
week,
dirty
someone's
like that.
Hey, look what I got. And you're like, Posey, did you sell the One Ring? And he's like, no. What happens? Like what does that do to the Magic ecosystem?
Nothing good.
Well,
nothing good.
No, definitely not good. Wizards of the Coast would also have to handle it, which is a horrible, awkward situation. I was listening to, there's a guy, Pirate Software's YouTube channel is blowing up. He's really cool. And he gives out game keys to people and he disseminates them through a service. And one of his keys leaked to the secondary market. And when he let the service know, it's the only service he used, they bought the key on the secondary market, banned the person who sold the key, and then burned the key, essentially. So Wizards of the Coast is now in that position where to keep some kind of confidence, are they responsible? You got to go in the secondary market, going to buy this second shitty or crappy One Ring and then destroy it.
To Topps a couple sets ago, they accidentally printed 2 101s for a couple cards, like I think 20-something cards.
Whoops.
And I'll give Topps credit again. They said, I will buy back one of the cards above market value. Whoever turns it in first gets it.
Yeah.
And so like whoever opened it first raced to send in the card and like get a way above market value for the 101 card.
Yeah, but what was the 101 card worth? Are we talking
25,000 to I think a few $100,000?
Gotcha. What did the one
real money? It's like people actually collect sports cards.
The One Ring was 2.2 mil, but also the second One Ring would be
Watsy's not doing that.
The second One Ring would be
Chris Cox isn't giving up his Christmas bonus for the 101 ring.
No one thinks they are. I was just saying that's in that situation they would
have to. I think they would absolutely
they'd be put in that position where they'd have to do something.
I think they'd absolutely have to.
They'd have to do something, or they'd have to reimburse Post Malone for what he paid.
I mean, like, I just think like this is going to be a increasingly big problem. I think for all cardboard.
Well, it's more well known now than ever that cardboard, sports cards, game cards, these things can all be worth money. Before that was just like, I'm printing something stupid, I'm working my 9 to 5. Now, like, that information is readily available. While you're on that line, man, you can go on your phone and I can get to TCG Player and be like, hey, this is what it's worth. Boom.
Yeah, the pandemic opened it up to like everyday knowledge that TCGs and card games.
Normies.
Not at the cocktail party, baby. Nobody knows Magic the Gathering out that way.
Nobody knows Magic. That's crazy. I hope it doesn't happen to Magic. Hopefully,
I do. I mean, like,
hopefully, Card Monday is a professional enough printer to be able to accomplish that.
Well, and that's if you don't own your own printers,
you did it with Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's like
the difference with Pokemon is it's not the serialized. Like in Magic, you could show up to a store with like a stack of.
I hope somebody shows up with a stack of like 350 of the same serialized cards.
It's the same number.
I've got 1 through 350 in pristine condition, never been touched by human hands.
It sounds like the people who do this are that stupid because like they drop the ball at the 1 yard. But like in Magic, you could show up with a stack of borderless mythics, and it would be like the cards are worth $10-15 each, right? Like for Pokemon, they were $180 cards. They were Espeon, Alt Art. Like it's 1 in 50 boxes or something like that, not 2 per case. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of wild. But
so like if those cards were stamped with a number, it would be easier to signify how many of them are out there and whether or not that's a good deal or a bad deal or something shady.
Sure.
Yeah, if they only made 500 of them, you might as well stamp it with a number. I mean, the art's not different. You might as well just, there you go.
Yeah, there's also not the same art on, like in Pokemon, it's different art. But
is that when it gets to the public, or is that when you steal it off the line?
Games, Louis. I think that's not necessary. I learned this last week.
Oh my gosh! All right,
you're capable of learning. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not. I just play
Tops,
card games.
drops and rolls.
I'm glad you are clearly lost in the section as you were trying to transition and failed. And that was pretty obvious.
I don't think you failed. I think you're doing great, bud.
Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm sick, dude. I feel like crap.
It's going around. I've had 3 friends have ear infections. Okay. All right. Shout out to the doctors. I didn't know adults could get ear infections.
We were deathly ill in this house. My wife came home Monday and like handed me my daughter and was like, I'm done.
Everybody I know is sick. I have to teach like in 2 weeks. I'm like, bubble boy. I'm bubble boy. I'm like, there's a 6-foot wall around me. Only my dog is allowed near me.
Just get sick now. Just get it over with now.
They're all like Louis. They have the plague for 3 months.
No,
yeah, dude, I've been sick for so long.
I know. I don't want this nonsense while I'm up there doing great work.
I've been sick for so long. I don't remember what it feels like to be healthy.
I don't know what it feels like to be happy. The stupid podcast.
All right.
TCGs. I just wanted to do shorts.
Welcome to.
It's ironic. Your best content is 5 seconds long, and your second best content is 2 hours long. You gotta fill the gap, buddy. You gotta fill the gap somewhere in there.
That's actually really true and funny.
You gotta fill the gap.
I had this week because of shorts. I had 25% of the views on my channel since its inception.
Didn't you like basically gain 1,000 subscribers this week?
This week, yeah. Shout out to those subscribers. Hey, if you came here, this is your first time on the podcast, and you saw the shorts, and that's what brought you here. Our views on the podcast were also up by like 30% last week.
You're welcome.
Leave it in the comment section below. I'll take full credit for it.
So it gets better when there's stuff to talk about, you guys. I promise. Like you caught us during Christmas season.
I make thousands of views for your channel every week. Make me some shorts, dude.
All right, welcome to the sorcery part of the podcast. Everybody, you can leave your little timestamp in the bottom. All those people who leave time.
I like that you think it's one guy, and you think this is just a rabid race.
Sometimes it's like 3 people. I'm like, man, like. Do you not look at the comment section to see if somebody else did that already?
In the TCG space is wild. It's like 3 people. It's everybody. It's all of it. They're insane.
So sorcery. Josh, did you do sorcery market update, right?
What now?
You did sorcery market update, right? Where did you put that?
No, market. You do not get to be like, oh, that's a Yingling.
It's in German, and I don't feel comfortable pronouncing it in the podcast.
That follows.
I want to hear you try.
Nope.
Kumbacha.
I try to pronounce American words all the time.
That's true too. That's true too.
As someone who suggested you do pack openings, I watched. It's always amusing. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a good time.
So where are we feeling from last week?
Did you open them like you should have, or did you rip them?
I have a knife now.
Did you sleeve them?
No, not on camera. I will never sleeve another card on camera after you.
Good. You could never sleeve them off camera either. The camera's not the problem. You know that, right?
My grades have been coming back fire. I think I've learned how to sleeve cards finally.
I'm proud of you, dude.
Yeah. Done enough. All right. So sorcery sales, how are we doing? How are we feeling?
First of all, you're the #1 sorcery content creator. You gained 1,000 subscribers this week on the world's largest sorcery channel, and I gave you all the information. Louis, how are we doing?
Well, do we have it from last week? I don't have anything to compare it to. It seems like things are going pretty well. Boxes are up to like $220 for beta. So it seems like the market is buying stuff.
So, God, I can't believe I'm gonna have to do this to you. You're the sorcery guy. Why do I have to carry your sorcery section?
Carry it, Josh. I believe you.
You guys, this is a podcast with 3 people. If you guys want me to just do a sorcery video in the middle of the podcast, I can do that. But you guys are supposed to. It's supposed to be a back and forth.
Could you do it? Could you do it weekly? And could it update us on the state of the market?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. But you'll make fun of me for doing it.
Oh, 100%. My favorite. It's my favorite piece of toxic content ever made.
You make fun of me for existing. Like what?
That's true. I feel no pity. I feel no pity or shame.
Oh my gosh.
So Josh, how are sales going this week?
Surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, based on all of TCGs, which is something I'll ask you guys about it because I don't understand it at all. Sales have begun to slow slightly in December, but there is still a consistent number of sales at the increased price for Sorcery on TCG Player, which I frankly did not see coming.
What? They sold 457 boxes this month?
Yeah.
I wonder if people are starting to be like, hey, it kind of feels like they're not going to print more boxes. I'm going to buy a box.
Well, we have some stuff to talk about, and I have a take there once we get into some of the quotes from the interview. But I really do think that it shows people either believe in the game, or willing to go back to the well, or don't mind spending the money. We saw a bit of this with Lorana, right? When why are people buying boxes at these insane prices? Well, listen, if you have the money and you enjoy it, maybe you're not as worried about it. And I know, Louis, you're super accepting of that take right now, even though when we talked about it 2 months ago, it was all flippers and scammers and everything. But for some reason, I don't know what has changed between the two. But it does seem that my take will stay consistent on this, that people, if they have the money, they're just willing to spend it on something they enjoy.
Sure. Not my take. My take was to not encourage people to buy $400 boxes, because I said they would go back to MSRP, which they have.
100%. That's a great take. 100%. You're right.
My take was to not be like, oh my god, it's going amazing. Boxes are $400, because like it was a supply and demand.
I mean, like,
yeah,
this is. I mean, like, Sorcery is doing good. I mean, like, I don't think there's any way around it. I mean, like, I think Sorcery is doing good. It's clear the company has to make a decision probably the next 2 months, I would think, about how to handle beta. Maybe 3, but like, I don't think you can get much into March without having to kind of figure out what you're going to do with more print run or not.
Maybe March, but let me point this out to you. What's interesting is the number of retailers has increased, obviously, and we talked about this, and Louis made a good point. Like, as the price goes up, the number of retailers will increase, because people are willing to sell their box at a higher price. But as we've seen the price kind of crater off around that $200, $210, right? It's kind of fluctuating between those two numbers. Yeah. The number of retailers continues to increase, which is super interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think people are willing to sell that price.
Listen, we know people aren't getting more boxes. Like, we know, like, a new store is not like, hey, can I start carrying Sorcery now? Because there's not. Like, there's just not those boxes.
No, listen, there's only one question, right? And that is, like, do they get a reprint or not?
Yeah.
And Simon had a lot to say about that this week.
Yeah. Let's get into the Simon stuff, because I think a lot of this. A shout out to Cardboard Guide with a great interview with Simon. Simon's like the community manager for Eric's Curiosa.
You don't need to introduce him. He's a friend of the podcast. He's been on the podcast.
He's not a friend of the podcast. He's the fourth person on the podcast.
And the GOAT.
He's got an infinite seat anytime he wants to be on the podcast.
Yeah. We can have him back on.
Oh, you're buying like a goat?
Yeah.
Is that a ba? Do goats ba? Isn't that a sheep?
Don't the goats kind of go ma?
No, they go, what's the Taylor Swift one? Have you guys seen that video?
No. Yes.
What are we talking about?
Yes, I have. Oh my god, who are you talking about?
Taylor Swift.
Have you seen her reaction to that video?
What?
The I Knew You Were Trouble?
Yes,
we can't play it on the
good.
podcast. We can't play it on the podcast. It's like, it's the Taylor Swift's like, I knew you were trouble when you walked in. and on the cold hard ground, it cuts to a goat that's like,
so good. Have you seen her reaction video to that?
No,
she loves it.
It's hilarious.
She loves it. It's so good.
Oh man, I play that for my daughter all the time. I'm like,
did you hear that she makes her boyfriend cinnamon rolls before every home game? Shout out to Tay Tay. Support. Can you imagine that? Like, she could buy and sell him 10,000 times over. She's like, I'll make cinnamon rolls. Why not?
I cannot believe we are still as a world enamored with this couple.
I am not enamored with this couple. I'm enamored with half this couple.
Nothing lowers my view.
Yeah, and then that goat's got a girlfriend, and I guess she
ain't nobody care about Travis before Tay Tay. Ain't nobody care about Travis after Tay Tay.
That's true. That's
absolutely. It'll be that weirdo on the Chief soon. All right.
I just can't wait for the breakup song. That's going to be my favorite song of all time.
Here's my wish. All right. Here's my wish. You all ready for this?
You have to ask Watsi.
All right. So Ursher is doing the halftime show this year, right?
Okay.
For the Super Bowl.
You think.
So here's my hope. I hope the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl and Tay-Tay is there and nobody knows how to handle this because the world's biggest pop star is in the bleachers while Ursher's trying to do his thing on the show. on the
What
halftime
if-
show.
what
That'd
if-
be so uncomfortable for everybody. I'm here for it.
What if everything you said is true, but then Tay comes out and does a set?
So she said she wouldn't do it because she thinks I can do it later in my career. I'm at the prime.
So that's
That makes Usher feel.
Oh, name an Usher song. Name 3 Usher songs.
Hey, Usher was cool once.
Yeah, was. When we say Taylor Swift was cool, she can do the
Right.
halftime show.
Usher
Bring it
was
back.
cool around the same time you were cool. Like,
No, I was never
so
cool.
never. Okay, so Simon did an interview
Not Taylor Swift.
with Cardboard Guide, a great source. Cardboard Guide tracks a ton of the curios. If you're ever interested in what is a curio, go to their Discord server. They've got a huge list of all the curios and stuff. They really manage that well. So did an interview with Simon. Lots of stuff, lots of conversation about beta and reprints. I think that's probably the biggest conversation again that we'll get back into. What did you guys think from the notes that I sent you?
I watched the whole video. I was told to say that on the podcast. Thank you, Louis, for giving me the line. So I heard that beta was for the people who weren't aware of the Kickstarter.
So I think that's a
we're starting there because that's a super important line to me. That's a super important statement. That quote.
I think that's a good place to start.
You guys aren't going full tinfoil hat conspiracy theory on this. Beta's not for the players. Beta's for the people who weren't aware of alpha. Then there's going to be an unlimited that's for the players. You guys aren't running.
If they
with
do
this?
unlimited, I'm going to lose
You're
my
not-
mind.
How are you
If they
not
do unlimited,
running-
I'm
If
going to lose my
they
mind.
don't do unlimited and add white borders, like
How?
go out of their way to lower the art and add white borders,
Like,
what are they doing? I mean, like,
Simon,
They
you
can't-
made
they're
me
not
put on
gonna
the
do that.
tinfoil hat.
They're
here.
not
I
gonna
feel like
do
I'm in
God,
a
I hope they
fishbowl
don't do that.
wearing the dough. Like, how do you not run? Oh, it's not for the players, guys.
I
It's for the
definitely,
collectors who weren't aware. Then another
that-
thing for you.
I think it's-
Unlimited is so disrespectful. I love it. I just like it is an absolute it's garbage and you guys will eat it up anyway. Welcome to indie TCGs. It is. I love it. It's like so disrespectful. It's like you'll eat your dog food and love it. Say thank you. Say thank you, stores.
It's only better if they release them at the same time.
Yeah. It's like so disrespectful.
It's just better.
God, I love it when the emotions get the best of George. When like the feelings of the past come to. God, therapy.
The white
must be a
border,
blast.
like it's great because I actually prefer white border cards, but I know I'm the
I remember
only
this
one in the
lady.
world who does.
Well,
So like,
Sorcery doesn't have a border, period. So like they would literally have to add a border to their card.
I know. It's like so disrespectful. I love this is like this conspiracy theory floated out that they're going to be like nothing but disrespectful to stores and be like, eat my dog food.
I
You'll
can
be
see
worth
them doing
something someday,
some
baby.
sort
Hang
of-
on.
core set reprint in the future. I don't think that would happen before Arthurian Legends. One of the takeaways I kind of got from the whole thing was like they are less concerned about accessibility than they are about collectability. Like for them, they know who they want to be. They want to be a collectible card game, and they are managing and watching a couple of what was the numbers I put in there. These are the things they're watching: dust consumption, the number of decks built on Curiosity.io, the number of views on their website. Like those are the things that they are looking at to view demand, not just like
So
distro sold a bunch of boxes. There's
Yeah.
a ton of demand. They're like looking to see how people are actually looking at and utilizing the boxes.
it's smart, right? Like we've seen, like what they're trying to avoid is the situation that a certain other indie TCG fell into, where everybody was just like, I know, I'm going to buy all the boxes and never open them because they're going to be worth $1 trillion.
Right.
And then like you're like, wait a minute. Nobody's opening boxes. There's no singles. Nobody's playing. You know, the player count is stable, and box prices are magically skyrocketing. What's going on here? Like, nobody cares how many boxes you sold. They care about how many boxes you open, and that's
Yeah.
a smart. That's a smart statistic for them to care about. Now, what I don't know is how they will know how many people claim dust, right? Because like it could be that like if every box got open, let's say 100% got opened,
Uh-huh.
100% of dust wouldn't be claimed.
No.
Right.
And like, this is the first time that's ever been tried. So I don't know what metric they're using to figure that out. I like literally would love to know that.
But you do have a floor, right? And I think that's important. You have a guaranteed number of boxes that have been consumed.
You probably take a stab at it and you're like, hey, we're going to assume 50% of dust codes are
that's my point.
used.
Like that number, if that's how they're judging when to reprint, that guess of like what percent of dust gets used, that's an important guess. Like that's an important number to guess, right? Or I guess close. So let me tell you what I loved about this interview that I watched. You're welcome, Louis. This is why I like Simon, even if I disagree with Simon. He talks about how like the social contract, great terms, great phrase, is not to just basically print as much as stores want.
Right.
You know, and like, you know, I candidly think that I don't fully agree with his position on some of this stuff, but like, you can't get mad at you can't get mad at a game, I don't think, for clearly stating their intention. Well, like they didn't hide it. They're not playing hide the ball. They're saying like this is, you know, that they're clearly saying like this is not what we're judging it on. Like if to make this game good in your eyes, I have to print to MSRP, I may not be a good game in your eyes, and that's fine with me.
I feel like this is a little bit like them just like choosing who they're going to be and like putting a line in the sand of, and first off, they didn't come out and say that they aren't printing more beta. That's not what was like the end line he says, and it was, there's more thinking to do here, no decisions yet, maybe some announcements in the future. And like I feel like they are still choosing to say we are a collectible card game before we are a mass adopted, mass produced card game. That is, our goal is to be a collectible card game first. And
I think it's a mighty fine line to walk. Like if I listen, that's fine. God bless them.
Mm-hmm.
That would make me anxious.
Sure.
Like if people don't play the game, I don't care. It ain't gonna be that collectible.
Yeah.
You ain't making sports cards.
Yeah. I mean, he said that too. Like there's another quote from it. It's imperative to see the game played at scale. This is why we have pre-cons. So like, I think their view of playing the game is probably different than what we've talked about on the podcast for other games in the past. Like their view is like people who collect also kind of play. I'm not sure they care as much about like how many LGSs are signed up, how many players do we have this week? They shouldn't.
That's a bad statistic for them.
Right.
Yeah. They don't fit that mold.
I agree with that. Yeah. And as an LGS owner, like who's running events, we're running events on Sundays at 1. It's like, it's hard.
Like you're pumping your sorcery tournament onto the podcast of 50,000 viewers. Let's do it. Continue, Louis.
Like it's hard to get people in the door to play games.
Games are long.
Yeah. I mean, like we had the same problem with like One Piece. We had like 4 people this week, right? So like, how do you even run it? You can't even run a tournament with that. We had
don't go steal my One Piece takes.
Huh?
Don't go steal my One Piece. Don't always compare the games, Louis. Don't always compare the games. Yes. You don't have to always compare them.
My point that I'm trying to make is that in indie TCG world,
which One Piece is not a part, apparently.
That's fair. It is hard to build a community. And so if you have successes, if you can have success outside of like, hey, this is important. The most important thing for us is LGSs. If you can have successes outside of that, that's probably the right direction for them. So
I want to zero in just as someone who I'm not playing Sorcery. I've been super honest about it. I'm collecting Sorcery. I've never done this with a TCG before, so take it with a grain of salt. As someone who's played every other TCG under the damn sun at this point, though, I would caution. It does seem if you're leaning into, growing gameplay, seeing games played at scale is imperative. It's important to us. And you couple that with the Sorcery, hey, I'm going to release one set a year or one set every 8 months or whatever, and you're leaning on your pre-cons to make that gameplay like this something that's important. And then I love the pre-con, best pre-con product I've ever seen. We quickly tire as people who play games of the pre-cons. Very quickly do we like, I've said I play Lorana with my wife weekly and she loves the pre-con, but we haven't modified them at all. And as a TCG like fan, I am quickly tiring of the pre-cons. I like the connection and having fun with my wife more than I like the pre-cons, right? So it does seem like, hey, we're setting a lot on sand. We're making this collectible. Seeing gameplay grow and gameplay happen in large numbers is important. I do believe they're going to have to find a way to transition those pre-con players to the next step, to building a deck, to trying to modify those pre-cons, incentivize them somehow.
Yeah, that's fair. And like people also like to open packs, right? Like they like to, and you get one pack in your pre-con thing, and like it's not even just like, because my initial gut to that was like, well, can't they just buy singles? But people like to like open their own cards.
Packs.
Yeah,
well, 100%. But they said, hey, we're not printing this product in mass. We want it to be collectible. So sooner or later, theoretically down the line, that becomes more challenging or more expensive.
Yeah, or do they
Simon
just not
and I agree
upgrade
with
their deck then?
Yeah, do they just stop? But then they don't want to play that pre-con anymore. So they just that's it. That's my fear.
What Simon said, and I agree with him on this. He seems to be in their defense, they seem to be the first TCG to understand this. He's like, people want it because they can't get it. This isn't hard.
Yeah, that's a great.
Like it's like funny because it's like it is such a basic human nature comment that like every other TCG seems to like completely struggle with.
Yeah.
If it were on the shelf, I would not get the 20,000 calls a day I get of asking me if I have it.
Right.
Like, and so like I think he's right about that. Not, we've said this 100 times on this podcast. The right number of boxes to produce is demand -1.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only caveat to all that stuff said is like the playing field. I think I want to go back to like the playing field should be even, and we have like Rudy's getting more boxes in February, and like there's this knowledge of that. I think like we see Team Covenant basically an endless supply of boxes. It seems like.
Why was I edited 2 weeks ago for this? Why was I edited 2 weeks ago for saying exactly that?
The way
you
said
did,
it.
you kind of pumped it a little bit.
Here's the way you said it. And
it's the exact same thing.
We listen. We're all for free speech here, as long as
as long as Louis agrees and it's his podcast.
Yeah. So like I think like
I called this problem way long ago. That like I think the Team Covenant thing's a real problem.
Yeah. Well, so, but so here's
the Team Covenant thing's a real like. We have seen what happens to TCGs in the past when one company gets a hold of such an incredibly large percentage of a print run.
Right.
I wrote a prop
in addition to that side, though, as a store, we still are in limbo.
Yeah.
Right. Like we don't know, are we getting more boxes in February? We don't know that we don't know that Rudy and we don't know any of the details. And like, I guess that might just not be our place, but like as a store, it's like, man, like where is, he even talked about the innkeepers, right? Like innkeepers took, I don't know, I didn't really see it as a risk. I kind of saw it as free tendies, to be honest. Like it was like alpha is like I knew it was going to be successful, but other innkeepers may not have been as bullish on the game.
You also kickstarted Polywog. Let's relax here, big guy. All right, let's relax here, Cryptic and Polywog.
Hey, shots across the bow. It's Christmas.
But like, I think like innkeepers deserve to know.
Successful.
Innkeepers deserve to know, like, are they going to have a supply? I think all retailers, first off, deserve to know.
Like these 38 people.
Are they going to get a supply, or is this it? And
they could absolutely give stores more if Rudy's getting more. That would frustrate me.
Well, that's the thing, and we've seen what happens when they don't. Like we literally have a product, and I have one here in my hand. I bought it off TCG Player. It was from an indie TCG, and this was, you tried to log on. It was $125 for a single box, and everyone was going nuts for it. But 3 retailers got all of the product. It subsequently absolutely crashed and might have caused a downfall of what could have been a massive community. Actually, I keep one sealed to remind me of like that moment, right, from TCG Player. We want Sorcery to avoid that same pit.
No clue what game he's talking about.
This is a Monarch First Edition from TCG Player.
Gotcha.
That's like
heard of it.
What?
Never heard of it.
I wish I hadn't either. I paid $125 for this thing.
Like a new card game.
It's my kid's name, butterflies. Wait, isn't that my kid's name? They named a card game after my kid.
But I just want to see that.
God, I miss Little Monarch.
I want to see that avoided. I don't think that's
name.
clearly not healthy. It's clearly not going to help grow the game. And the trick is, and we said this, we don't envy the position. How do you, as Sorcery, balance the collectibility versus trying to spread your game? And how do you balance the fair market and building these communities versus the exposure you get? It's a seat I'm happy I'm not in and don't have to make those decisions.
Yeah, like it is again, when I said this every week, like it's frustrating from LGS perspective, but I also understand the value of like content being created for games and that kind of stuff. But like you've got to
do you understand that because you're the #1 Sorcery content creator in the known universe?
Such nonsense.
I mean,
that's
like,
not nonsense.
Listen, there's
a ton of good Sorcery YouTube channels.
Sure.
That like aren't getting anything. There's one that's getting everything. It's not like they said, "Hey, we're going to send out retailer kits or we're going to send out content creator kits."
There's also one that gets.
What I'm saying, George, what I'm saying is that there is a balance. I'm not saying that they are on the balance. I'm not saying that I agree with what they have struck. I'm just saying like there is a side of things that are like LGSs get LGS kits, right?
Like let's get banned. Let's do it. Hold on.
No.
We all agree, though. We see the value from Sorcery's perspective or any indie TCG's perspective from gaining a certain audience, right?
Channel Fireball added value for a while to other games until they got too much, right? Like it was
until they really didn't.
Until they very clearly didn't. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was alluding to. Is it's that balancing act, right? Yeah. It's how do you capture that as an indie TCG? How do you capture that value that you at least perceive someone
really don't make a lot of videos
to have?
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, no, not at all. How do you capture the value that you perceive someone to have versus giving them too far of a leg up against everybody else and causing a silo for your entire market, right?
Like their last Sorcery video has 5,000 views. How to Play Alpha Clash has 13,000 views. Come on, Alpha Clash, start pumping your bags, baby. I know they were still a game. So like
Alpha Clash,
I just bought a case of Alpha Clash.
Good for you. I mean, like
shipped it directly to the person who asked me to buy it from.
Louis, respect the sidebar, please. George, how many weeks until Alpha Clash replaces One Piece on the podcast?
Right now, we're doing it. I have not. Team Covenant's GOAT.
Louis, do not comment on that. Respect the sidebar, buddy. It's Christmas.
Team Covenant's GOAT. I've learned this, that like if they pump a game, we're doing great. Alpha Clash, you're up. You deserve all the boxes.
Respect the sidebar.
I mean, like, come on. Like, come on. There's like 5,000 views. That's like worth like all the print run. Yeah. I mean, this is wild. This is like, it has nothing.
It's not all the print run.
Don't. I already. Oh, you suck.
What?
That's all the like. It's a lot of the print run. They're the ones that still have boxes. They're the only ones that still have boxes.
They have a 24 box maximum order, George.
For 30 days.
Per day.
30 days.
So it's not the 5,000 views. It's a marketplace where there is hundreds of thousands of TCG fans.
Hundreds of thousands. You think they have hundreds of thousands?
You don't think hundreds? You don't think the Team Covenant website has been clicked on hundreds of thousands of times?
Wait, that's not 100,000 unique users.
It's hundreds of thousands of clicks that you can put your thing in front of.
It's a company with like 6 guys. Like I'm not like bashing team.
And you're a company with 1 guy. And how many times have you been clicked on, buddy?
A million this week. Shout out to Shorts.
100,000 on my website. That's come on, man. You have no.
And also, hundreds of thousands is not 100,000. Just on the same page.
It could be 120.
Nope, that would not be hundreds. That would be 820.
More than 100.
I'm not.
No, it means more than 200 or 200 or more.
I'm not on team that's bashless, but like that was a wild one.
So how many clicks do you think their website gets from people who are willing TCG spenders?
No clue.
Do you think it's a significant number?
I don't like. Why is this turned into a Let's Rate Team Covenant podcast?
This isn't. Because George brought up the point their Sorcery video got 5,000 views. My point is Sorcery is not paying or giving them this advantage for the 5,000 view video. There are other reasons.
Their
What's
main
the other-
directive,
that's
their
my
main
important point.
directive, their main directive of their website, the main way that they get viewers is probably from their YouTube channel. That is where they put all their energy into marketing and whatever. So I would venture to say that it is not is not multiple times what they're getting for view counts and activity on their stuff. Like, I understand they have a history of other games. I understand they add a lot of value to other things, but saying that they have hundreds of thousands of views on their website, I don't even know what timeline you're giving it. Seems wild to me. Certainly to say that they're going to sell hundreds of thousands of sorcery boxes as a result.
I'm in.
Oh, I don't think they're going to do that. What?
I'm in.
They're selling hundreds of thousands
You
of sorcery
convinced me.
boxes. I don't think, and nobody's sorcery isn't selling hundreds of thousands of sorcery boxes.
Or
They're
are
selling
they?
65,000.
I think I guessed 40.
I think I said 4. Did I say 40 plus? I think I said 45 plus 15.
I think that's right.
That's what I said.
I think I said 35.
Yeah, you went way low. You went like 6,000 above the alpha run. You're wild.
I think I'm right still.
So I think that, like,
I will say I feel a little bit less confident every time that I look and Team Covenant sells boxes. I will say, like, my number seems a little bit less.
yeah, and like
Every
that's
day.
again, that's like the, and maybe there's a contract, right? Like maybe the Team Covenant and Sorcery contract says, hey, Team Covenant wanted boxes available for 2 months after release. That was their thing. Like their whole thing is we sell boxes at MSRP. If we're gonna do that, then we want to be able to sell boxes for 2 months until after release. I have no clue what that looks like. It just seems like not communicating with LGSs and not having like a understanding of what is happening for the future is wild when you have Rudy and Team Covenant having unlimited boxes. So, but yeah,
I mean, like, I think they need to communicate it. I mean, like, I think I think the honest answer is they probably don't know what they're doing yet. Like, that's my gut. And I think that's totally fair. Like, I said this
more things
I-
you can do here. No decisions yet. Maybe
Yeah.
some announcements in the future.
I said this now the last 2 weeks. I think printing more boxes now is the worst thing you can do.
Agreed.
If they gave me 1,000 boxes today, I could sell 1,000 boxes today.
Right.
The demand is not 1,000 boxes right now.
Right.
For my people. But like they want it because it's impossible to get. Like this is where Simon's absolutely right. Like they need to wait for the market. They need to wait for Louis FOMO videos to turn down a little bit. Then they can start to see what the actual demand is.
Yeah. I would like to see some sort of like scaled to the number of like a number of boxes that you got originally, and it's not like a hey, order what you want, like some sort of like 15%, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I think it'd be good.
Just another way for stores to get some more product. But
I think it'd be totally fine.
anyway,
They could do it like in January or February, not now.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do whatever everybody gets his boxes.
That
Well,
seems
I mean-
like
That works here because of Sorcerer's release cycle, right? We can talk about they can print them in January and disseminate them out that way because we're so long between releases. The idea is to try to hold demand and hold interest.
That being said, I have given up on the idea of getting more boxes, and we've been doing box openings. So like we did a stream. I used my last box to do a stream. I actually bought a box that somebody kept sealed in my local community. I was like, hey, can I buy that back from you and do a stream with it? And I'm just gonna open boxes and do live streams with them because now I'm buying from the secondary.
Good idea.
Is what it is.
From
And
Team Covenant.
I have
Are you going to buy boxes from Team Covenant?
I can't do it. I can't bring myself to it.
Why? They're great. They're great for the game.
Also, like, I don't want to spread that rumor, but I've seen some of the polls from some of their boxes.
I'm in. I'm in.
Oh
So-
my God, we're doing this?
No, I'm not.
in.
But I have
Well, you know, you already did it. You can't undo it.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You can't be
12,
like, I'm
13,
just
14,
saying. I'm not
15,
saying, but I'm just saying.
17 cards away from my alpha foil set.
I love how you just try to gloss over that shade.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's just what I like. Listen, if I was buying boxes, which I will be, I'm not buying cases. I'm buying individual boxes from 6 individual sellers. That's what I would do with Sorcery right now if I wanted a case. Because
I'd buy just the case.
What?
I'd buy just the case because that way you know that like you have a chance of getting like the good boxes or not.
Like No, it's because you buy a case and you get bad boxes, then all 6 of your boxes are bad. You have no shot.
Yeah, but like at least now you know that like somebody didn't buy a case, have a bad box, and sell the other 5.
Yeah, I kind of think the idea that like most people don't do that. Like, there's definitely some shady people that do that, but like most people don't do that.
But by buying a single box from single sellers, how are you protecting yourself at all?
Because you're spreading it out. Because like if you buy 6 boxes from one retailer, right?
Okay.
And that retailer's boxes,
I get it. You're all or nothing there. But so your theory is because you don't think people open the first box, realize it's crappy, and then secondary market the other 5. You don't think you're vulnerable. Okay.
I got a case, Louis. I'll open the first box. I'll let you know if I want to sell the other boxes or not.
Yeah, I think most, like, I have a problem. You guys know this. I trust people too much, but like, I don't know. That's what I would do.
If their boxes had stickers on the side of them, you wouldn't have this problem.
That's true.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just put a sticker on it. Everything's better with a sticker.
Anyway, I'm 17 cards away from a full alpha set. I only have one more. I have 2 more uniques. Shout out to Mitch. Mitch, get back to me. I'm waiting to hear back from Mitch on one of them. But maybe next week. I'm trying to get it done by the end of the year. I'm hoping to get.
Is he ghosting you in the DMs? Like, what was the point of the call?
He's sick. We were texting.
You're all sick all the time.
Yeah,
what is wrong with you? Get an immune system.
So hopefully next week, maybe next week, I'll have
Keep us updated. This is great content.
But some people care about it.
Nobody does.
All right, ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. What's the next one?
I don't know. Topic Master.
George's One Piece. George, what's the one?
So they're remaking One Piece on Amazon.
Oh, I did see this.
So Louis, like, what are you most looking forward to? Maybe. Maybe
it's Netflix.
They're remaking it on some platform.
They're remaking the entire anime. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, Louis, what episode are you most excited to rewatch?
I watched the first 5 minutes. And I said, this is not for me. So
that's about how much I got through. And
yeah.
Josh, how about yourself?
Much like Sorcery, which I won't be playing. I won't be watching this either.
It's disappointing.
I can't do.
I could never be president. I'm too blunt. I don't fake it at all, buddy.
There's over 1,000 episodes of this thing. I could never get.
It's too many episodes.
Yeah, I'm not starting.
Like, how many episodes does The Office have, though?
Like 20,
probably 100.
20 episodes a season, 5 seasons that matter, plus the last
that's
season.
Fair. Totally fair. Totally fair.
Episodes.
It's great because, like, I love Will Ferrell.
He was awful.
It was the worst.
That was the worst The Office ever was.
Yeah. Wasn't great.
It was like I watched him like, how did you guys think this was good?
They're rebooting that too. They're like remaking it.
I'm so excited.
Are you?
Really?
Absolutely.
Dude, that's a terrible take.
Remakes.
Yeah,
that's a terrible take.
This shows us why you make the Magic the Gathering takes you make. This
when you're as old as I am, all you have to live for anymore
is the
are
reprinting
remakes.
of the reserve list of
watch
TV series.
The Office. Why would you like?
It's readily available. Most of it's affordable. You can go out there and get it right now. And yet here you are being greedy, wanting more.
You know what they should have done? They should have done a spin-off that's just Dwight Schrute's farm.
Well, you know, they tried that, right? And it didn't get picked up. That was the point of that episode of the last season. That was why they did that episode, because he tried to get a spin-off and they turned it down.
That would have been so good.
Anti-shout out to NBC. Anti-shout out to NBC. This
NBC
podcast not sponsored by NBC.
What has NBC put out since The Office that's been
nothing?
Good? I can't think of a single thing.
It's great because every year I'm like, for Black Friday, I'm like, God, should I subscribe to Peacock only for The Office? That's literally the only thing I care about on their channel.
Yeah. Yep. I love the Superfan episodes. Have you done that?
Yeah.
South Park was on there for a little while, but then they had that crossover with HBO and they sold themselves twice, and now they're everywhere. So
they're on Max. Yeah.
Not HBO, by the way, just Max.
I do think though that a reboot will drive more people to the One Piece fandom.
Maybe. Absolutely, to the moon.
Boxes are so impossible to get. My rep said call him back on Friday, but I have zero hope. Zero.
You know what?
I have zero hope for anything, let alone One Piece.
That could be a
we found our clip. Clip that for the title. I have zero hope.
I called my rep, and
I should be with you. Zero hope.
I called my rep on Monday, first thing on Monday, like I do every week. The very first thing I do when I wake up on Monday is think about I need to call my rep and try to get One Piece. And I don't know what he was doing when he answered the phone, but don't leave. It gets better. He just put his microphone to his ear.
Yeah, I'm back.
That's how it all works. That's how it works, buddy.
I'm back.
And he answered the phone, and I thought he said no. I thought he just like answered with like, no, I don't have any One Piece. But he didn't. So
That's what I put my headphones back in for.
all right. That's all you want to talk about? One Piece?
As I've been known to say on this podcast, it does not get better.
All right, Lorana at MSRP.
Wait, that was the One Piece segment?
Yeah, that was it. There's nothing else to talk about.
You made me get up out of bed for this?
George said he wanted to talk about it, and then he left. So
George did not say I wanted to talk about it. That is
George said he wanted to talk about it.
You just said George said you wanted to talk about it.
No, George said he wanted to talk.
Don't put that evil on me, boo boo. That's
All right, Lorana, you can pick up Lorana at gamegrove.gg, everybody, at MSRP. If you're looking for it, we got decks, we got boxes, we got first set, we got second set, we got everything, baby. So if you're looking stuff, gamegrove.gg. There's my pump.
I'm on your channel every week. You're not gonna pump me every week.
You got your box openings.
Yeah, I got 5 left. $139.
That's pretty
for
good.
channel members. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Because I take care of my people.
That's $5 less than boxes on my site. Yeah. Do they get free shipping?
That's out the door. Everything shipped to you.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like to do them right. I'm just saying, man. I'm out here. I'm pumping you. I believe in you.
Yeah,
you're great. You make good shorts. Sometimes.
If you want to open up your own boxes, you can buy from me. If you want somebody's dirty fingers on all your cards, buy from John.
Dirty fingers.
I hate you so much, but we have achieved the goal for Lorana.
Which is
it did what I said it was going to do. What Louis last week said it could never be done. Said my math and graphs were wrong. We have sold more boxes in December than we did all of November.
Of course.
And we're racing towards release month.
Of course.
We're racing towards the month of release.
That is super impressive.
We're going to sell more in January than we will in December. Only one direction, baby. One direction.
Well,
no,
hold on.
Not at all.
Hold on. Okay. I was
not at all. Not at all. Not even close. No. You're crazy? Of course not.
I was going to say, oh, God.
That was so good. No, not at all.
The size of the fall off will matter. The size of the fall off matters.
I think that's true. So here's like the most interesting to me is like the first set is going back up in price a little bit already. Like I think people are still sleeping. Like it's so weird that all these investors and flippers and tendy farmers like Louis, they're just not into Lorana very much, and it's like so weird to me because it's like the only game
farmer
that
for
people care
Lorana.
about.
No, I want to go back to that.
Boo boo. Who said you?
George just said.
I just did.
He said
just did.
God, Josh, would you please put your damn headphones in and pay attention?
I thought he said all of the. Listen, he had his microphone up by his ear again. What do you want? I didn't hear him.
How have I done that? All I've done is sell boxes at MSRP.
I'm talking about general games, not just Lorana. My point was like you tendy farmers like yourself are like sleeping on Lorana, the only game people seem to actually care about right now.
So you said something last week that I think might be interesting, and we've talked about collectibility in games and in TCGs for better part of a year now.
More than that.
Everybody says Lorana's not collectible. It's not for the collectors. Lorana's not. But doesn't that kind of make it like it could be collectible because nobody sees it coming? That's what makes early Magic so special. That in time, right? But
it's also like So Ravensburger deserves a lot of credit. Unsurprising to me.
Finally, because we finally. Oh, look, hold on. You get credit because you taped your box, baby.
Unsurprising to me, but shocking to Louis. They were very clear that they're going to print this to MSRP.
That's fair. 100%.
Yes, they were.
Not the part about me, but the part about them is fair.
Why did we tape this? Why did we tape the top there?
It's pretty. You're going to screen grab it next set. Relax, boo boo.
You can't take your hand in there and steal a pack that way. This was the important one. This is you know what this shows? They just don't care about the environment.
The way that they taped it also makes it really difficult to open the packs to display for like open the boxes to display for packs.
Yeah, you gotta cut this one too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like they put it at MSRP. Like now, what I the big question is like, we'll set one, get another reprint. I think they will.
Yeah. And also the question is, what is the demand when not everybody wants a box?
It
right?
seems to be pretty high.
The thing that Simon said is applicable to Lorcana too. Like
It is,
who
but like the market seems
no,
to be speaking.
right. No, I agree.
But Lorcana's got a little bit of an advantage there, right? Because there's so many passerbys that are like, and I've said this on the channel before with certain Magic products. I think it pertains to Lorcana. You're at the game store, you're walking through Walmart, you got $10 in your pocket.
Right.
It's like it's what you've referred to as the Pokemon effect. I think magnified, right? You're like, oh, I'll buy some Disney stuff. Yeah, I have all the cards I could ever want.
I wouldn't say magnified. I would say maybe equal to, maybe
in the United States, I would think maybe magnified with this. Just if we're talking Disney IP versus Pokemon IP in the United States, I would consider Disney IP to be larger.
Disney IP is so much more prevalent.
I don't want to risk getting through a thought without you trying to step on anything I'm saying here. So I'll let you have the floor if you need. But I really think it's a good way to spend $10.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I think that's a valid statement.
Thanks for your approval, bud.
So
you're doing great, Josh. I believe in you, buddy.
I appreciate you, Louis.
Here's where I think it's going to be super interesting is that they are saying that the third set is going to not have the supply issues at the beginning.
They're very clear about this.
Yeah.
So does that mean that these first two sets then can't get printed right now because you can not get in the window of print, and will we see this kind of get dried up again? And that'll be interesting for sure.
I think you will. Like I do think that I think they'll trend up. But I mean, like, listen, like if you want to be in a world of hurt, buy Lorcana for way above MSRP. We've been saying that on this podcast the entire time it's been released. Yeah. You want a basically guaranteed way to lose money in the short term, buy Lorcana way above MSRP.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they're gonna like I would be floored if Ravensburger doesn't do at least another huge print run of set one, and they could print it for the next 5 years.
Right.
Like there's no reason they wouldn't.
Right.
And
like, especially set one, because set one seems to be a really good set and people seem to be loving it.
It's interesting to see set one be, because from distro, I've gotten less set two than set one.
Yeah. Is that true? Is that true after this last restock?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I got this week is going to be
interesting. Maybe they're putting it to the higher spend stores then.
Getting 2 pallets.
That's a lot of Lorcana.
It's a lot of Lorcana.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense too, right? We see the average price of a booster box for Rise of the Floodborn go from $277 in November down to what, $181.
And I'm proud of them to get up before Christmas. Like, I mean, that was my big test, was can they get up before Christmas? And they did. Both sets.
But it also, I think we're seeing Rise of the Floodborn drop quicker, even with let's say if first chapter printed on the same schedule as Rise printed, the community is definitely believing Ravensburger. When they were screaming with the first chapter, we're going to print this to oblivion. Right. They didn't necessarily believe them. With it happening for the first chapter now, I think we're seeing a lot of acceptance from the community saying, we're just going to lower the price of this before it even hits shelves because we know it's going to get reprinted.
Yeah, and I think there's also an element of like people, the first thing, everybody tries it, right? And maybe some people tried it and were like, hey, it wasn't for me, right? Like it wasn't you have a huge influx of people who try something for the first set. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say for
everybody.
Almost every game, right?
I haven't opened a Floodborn box.
No, I can't help it. You're bad at life. What do you want from me?
Yeah. I don't know. How many Floodborn boxes have you opened?
2. The big miss? No Winnie the Pooh Enchanted. Big miss.
You open more than that. You have 2 pallets coming.
They don't exist, so I don't think I could hit it if I opened both pallets.
Gotcha.
But other than that, it's a great take, Louie. I'm glad you know your product so well.
We have people trade in cards all the time. And singles fly. Fly. It's unbelievable how fast
it's goat.
I did the box openings. I started the box openings on the channel. A couple people bought in. The first box opening, the first pack, Enchanted.
That's
whoever got
first
those
box
boxes,
opening. First, I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is what?" It was amazing. Crazy. Yeah, people are gonna think I seeded the pack by sliding my hand in, but you can't, dude. Scotch tape.
You can't do it.
Suck
Scotch
it.
Tape. Okay. Speaking of Lorcana, let's move on to The MetaZoo
Your
letter.
transitions tonight have been really good.
Dude, I'm sick. I feel like
Speaking
crap.
of stuck, it was right there.
I feel like
Your transitions have been really
Right
good
there.
tonight. I want to make sure you know that.
I feel awful.
Well, you look as good as you feel.
I
think you look
feel
great.
Awful.
I know. You feel great. Look great.
So, Mike from MetaZoo, Mikey Mike, put out an
Say Mike
announcement
one more time for me.
at everyone. As we've come to the end of 2023, I want to take the time
whole letter.
to
We're gonna read the letter.
write and publish a letter to the community addressing many of the issues we are seeing, and that there will be a 2024 roadmap that will follow. And then he put out a letter with lots of things that we're not going to read everything on the video. So it's a long letter, 4-page letter, 4 pages.
It was a necessary letter.
Yeah,
don't you think?
I mean, it was necessary a year ago or like.
I mean, like, listen,
It's
he
like
called out some of the problems that I think are real, and he talked about how he's going to fix them.
that's fair.
Like, I mean, I don't know what else we could want from him.
I mean, he called out some of the problems. I'm not sure that he necessarily said how he's going to fix them. He said
I
that
disagree with that. Like, I
he
mean, like,
said
I think
he would
like
fix them.
no, I don't think that's fair. Like, I mean, he said that they're not going to take any more pre-orders.
Yeah,
That's a big thing. Like, that's been like this. That's been our big complaint. Is that
They're-
like
he's taking Josh's advice. He's going just to core sets.
Let's not even get there. Let's not even go there.
Josh,
Shout out to
are
Josh.
this
The pre-order thing-
everything you ever wanted. Are you going to start playing MetaZoo now?
George, don't you think that something like that, pre-orders have been behind and delayed and not shown up for so long now?
And he
A
acknowledged
statement
that.
like a statement like that feels too little, too late. Like this statement was
No.
due
No.
at this episode last year.
No. I mean, like,
I feel that way.
listen, well, of course you do. You fud everything up except for sorcery. But like in
That's
One
the
Piece,
reason
I'm
I
sorry,
like
Louis.
One Piece
In
at
One Piece,
all.
I'm sorry, Louis. I apologize. I took
Thank
it
you.
back immediately. And One Piece, and Polywog. Like
God, if Polywog's worth like $1 million a box one day, dude,
No.
I'm so happy for you.
There are
Well,
no
he'll never-
boxes.
he'll never
I
get his
just
box.
lost my money. Just
Yeah.
lost the money. That's
No.
it.
No, you know what? You go to that factory, you take those cards off the line. You are
I
no.
love how you won't pay the $18 to get your Polywog box.
I don't want it. It's not worth $18.
Like
You gotta cut
literally
your
for
losses.
18 bucks, you could have
Yeah,
gotten
but
your
how
box.
cool would
You're
it?
like
How
not
cool
doing it.
would it look? Just like stacked up back there
God,
somewhere.
I honestly forget that I back Polywog until George brings it up on every
How do you
episode.
every week? Every week, bud.
Favorite bingo card moment. I mean, like, listen, like, you know, the question, you know, I don't think it's too little too late. I think that it's certainly possible to fix this.
So
You know, and they're on the right path. Like, I think Mike, I understand that Mike is controversial. Like, I'm not naive about this, but like, this is where Mike is at his best, in my view. Like, Mike is really good at understanding, I think, the sentiment of MetaZoo. And like, this is something that the community feels very frustrated by, I think, and he's going to address it.
so my problem is, like, I think the community that is frustrated by this, they're gone. Like they're and once you leave this isn't Magic where you leave and you come back. Like you come back. Like once you leave an indie TCG, it's just like, oh my gosh, there's a whole world out here where people
Yeah,
don't
it's called
think that-
Magic. I mean,
like
and
there's a whole
Lorana.
world out here where people show up to events and play, and I can find people to play games with. Like it's and what, like, I don't know, man.
So
I think this
I mean, like,
stuff
so, like,
should have come out a year ago rather
well,
than
like, it
a
didn't.
constant
Like-
year of being like, no, we don't have a problem. Don't
Yeah,
say
because-
that.
because
like,
You
what
have
do
to be positive.
Like, what would you rather have him do now, though? Like, I
Nothing.
get it, but like, what would you rather have him do now, though?
nothing.
Say it's over, have fun.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
he's
say
doing
it.
what he has to do to survive.
No, I will 100% say it. It's over. Have fun. There hits a point where you get to be too little, too late, and you lose that consumer confidence. And in the statement, let's look at a couple things. We on this podcast said MetaZoo's Magic is not focusing on core sets. They cannot do that. They cannot just make the box the main thing. They have to exist outside of that. Well, they have reduced themselves to the box is the main thing. So
That
Already-
is not at all what the letter said.
that 100% is. They're going to focus
They
on
said
core
they're going to license their IP to other people now.
and they went from saying we no longer are going to look for our brand dealerships because they brand deals because they have not worked out for us. We are going to license our IP. Well, that also is too little, too late. You are not licensing your IP when your IP is hot. You're licensing your IP at the lowest it's ever been.
I mean, there will certainly be people who want to license their IP.
I would be surprised if somebody of note,
like a week ago.
The Hello Kitty set is not doing well though. Like
but Hello Kitty clearly saw,
and that's the other way. That's them licensing the Hello Kitty IP.
Also, isn't the Hello Kitty guy on the board for MetaZoo?
Yeah, that's what I'm pointing.
So it's like
Mr. Kitty,
but that's the opposite direction. They're not doing that anymore. I thought they're licensing their IP outward. So if Hello Kitty made a Tamagotchi product or
Arby's they'll do it
of cryptids, then that's one thing. But
Arby's said they'll do it.
And they haven't. They said that around.
They already did the tweeters at each other. They've already been tweeting.
But buddy, I got to tell you, I'm pretty firm on this stance. It's too little, too late. We see them pulling back to all the things that we constantly said is not going to work.
No, I disagree with that. Actually, I think that like licensing is a smart move by them.
I think this is a meta. If they actually do what they are saying they're doing in this thing, and I think George, I agree with you. Everything he's saying is the way that MetaZoo should take things now as where they are. I agree with that. But and my point is that's great. They're now starting from scratch. Like they're starting at the beginning. If they had 100 fans this time last year, there are 3 people left.
I think you're starting behind scratch. You're starting
I don't think
less than scratch.
Behind scratch.
You've taken a good number of people who would be consumers and you've either they've lost confidence in you, you've pushed them away.
Sure, 100%. But I think they can start from here, and then the question is like, how do they grow from here? It's not the pandemic. There's not the excitement and the hype and whatever. Like this is now we are starting fresh. We are starting new. That's what I gained from this message.
I think Mike is saying give us another chance.
Yeah, like
it's up to the consumer if they want to or not, right?
I 100% agree with that. I think most consumers are going to see this and say,
It's
I have no idea what that means. So like maybe I don't know if I agree with you or not. To be honest,
and I'm not sure I'm not sure if 100 people left, how many people are going to come back and see this letter.
I also don't know how many people are going to take this announcement seriously. I mean, the boy who cried wolf is a thing. We've seen announcement after announcement after announcement after announcement. Why is this the one that I believe in?
If they don't follow through on this, then that's a real problem.
Well, but that's been their history, right? Making announcements and not following through.
I don't know how you don't follow through on this.
Oh, no, I agree with you. You have to, but their history doesn't give us any faith that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I got the faith.
I think this
I say us. I'm speaking for me, I guess.
I think this resets the community.
It's also like, listen, it's what they have. Like, I think there's no doubt this letter would have been better a year ago. It didn't come out. It should have.
Sure.
But like, if where we are today, this is good. Like, this is like what they could do, and they're doing it. Like, I mean, like that's.
I think it changes the scale of MetaZoo though.
100%.
Like this is they're starting again. I come back to like they're starting fresh without the hype of the pandemic. Like that's where they are.
All these games are.
Not that I don't think all of these games are starting fresh and losing a huge portion of their community.
There's no game today that has the buzz they did during the pandemic. None.
That's fair.
Like, what game has the same buzz now as they did during the pandemic, Louis?
So I'm not even gonna say it because you guys are just gonna say that I'm just pumping the games.
What?
Like One Piece has more buzz than it did in the pandemic.
Yes. Get it.
One Piece has
way. Were they around during the pandemic?
They've been around. No, they've been around for a year. They just celebrated their 1 year.
I agree with you.
No, but they just celebrate. Their set 5 is their 1 year anniversary, isn't it?
You are the. I love this. Is the best.
Sorry,
I don't know when One Piece started. I
agree with you, Louis. The game that did not exist has more buzz.
I guess Sorcery didn't technically exist, right?
Okay, so
they're
far
on the back end of the pandemic. So what game are you talking about then?
No game. There's no game that's on the market today. I'm including the big ones that have as much hype now as they did during the pandemic.
But none of them are starting fresh and starting.
I agree,
over.
But like saying they don't have the hype of the pandemic, it's like, of course not, Louis. Like none of them do.
But
they have the consumers that have been here since the pandemic.
So maybe not even the hype of the pandemic, but the pandemic and that era of trading card games launched them to a space. Yeah. Louis' point is just like, hey, if we're starting over, if we're not even starting over, but like, hey, we're gonna recommit to this. That climb up that ladder is not going to be nearly as smooth or explosive as it was the first time.
It definitely will not be. There is that is, I think, obvious.
And I think it's important to properly manage those expectations
I
for
think
any
he's trying
fans.
to in the letter. He did not say Kickstarter to 20K. That was not in the letter.
Well,
That was on my copy that I printed out and wrote on it, but like that was not what he said in the letter.
I can't imagine a letter in the current condition of MetaZoo that comes out.
We're going to ship our stuff, we're going to get caught up, and we're going to license our IP. Those are all things we've called for him to do.
He also said he's going to close down the basically close down the Discord server.
Did love that, but like
they said they're shutting down the partner program, or they're only continuing it with certain partners. They said like, I don't know, man.
This is not any signs
the
of
partner program made a lot more sense during the pandemic than it does now. That's the hard facts.
I don't know. I guess I'm just stuck.
Of course it is. Like when nobody could get any boxes and everything was going to the moon, partner program was essential. I
don't see that as this is a recipe for success. Recommitting to core sets for a game that we have said repeatedly is not necessarily a player's environment. It's not something, or I have my personal belief.
We talked about the IP though. Like you're picking out one line.
Hold on, because I'm not done talking. So you've done that. You've also tried outgoing brand deals to bring people in. So you've tried to use Hello Kitty most recently, where you took your brand and then combined it with something wildly popular, and that flopped. And your response to that is, we're not doing that anymore. You got to come to us and use cryptids. You got to pay to put MetaZoo on your stuff. That to me, for a company that is trending this way, a game that's trending this way, is not a positive change. I'm not going to take something that's in a downward trajectory and pay money to put it on my stuff. That doesn't seem like.
Well, if you think it'll help your sales,
but MetaZoo doesn't help its own sales.
Like, and we have no idea what the partnership would look like.
You're right, and I don't. This is just what my perspective of this is. If you can't sell your own boxes, you're not going to help me sell mine.
There will be people who license their IP.
Right.
That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that statement is true.
And I'm interested if people want the IP. I don't think so.
If not, there's not a lot there, right? Like
they also don't have an like this. This is we've said this. We said this way back when. The issue with MetaZoo is that they don't have an IP. Their IP.
I disagree. I never said that. I disagree.
They can't license out Mothman and anybody who wants
their version of Mothman.
Yes, they can. Which has become a well-known. Like I would have no idea. I think most people would probably have no idea what Mothman is without MetaZoo. Is what it feels like.
Mothman is the main character of a Fallout game. Fallout, one of the most popular video games in the world.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's like no idea. The Fallout Commander decks have Mothman in them.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I guess I never put
the magic of MetaZoo.
Yeah, you're right.
The magic of MetaZoo is that they had the geographic cryptids. Yeah, and that is, I think, where they could do the licensing correctly, and they could but that's where I think they could find their sauce again. Because that's their differentiator.
But you think the Mothman Museum in West Virginia is going to pay MetaZoo to license a MetaZoo product?
Yeah, I mean they could.
No shot. There's no shot. The Mothman Museum didn't even they had to beg. MetaZoo had to go to the Mothman Museum and be like, "Hey, can we put product in your store? Can we put product in your store? We want to give you product to sell."
But we're gonna see. That's the beautiful thing, at least, right? We're gonna find out. I'm with you, Louis. I don't.
The people who run those person who runs Bigfoot Museum is not going to be like
the most interesting person in the world, by the way, by far.
Yeah, they're not going to have the suave to put together MetaZoo, and I don't know, man.
How much suave do you need to email Mike and be like, "Hey, man, I run the Bigfoot
not doing
Museum."
Any of the work. He's not doing. That's what what he is saying in this article or this letter is like. MetaZoo's not going to do the work. If you want to, you got
to come inward. If you come to us, we will consider you.
Yeah,
right.
The point is,
never mind.
MetaZoo's not well known enough, nor is it on an upward. It's not a hot enough product. It's not selling its own boxes. So what incentive do I have to come to you?
This is where the people who like MetaZoo have to go to the Bigfoot Museum and say, "Hey, man, you should email Mike and ask him if you can do a MetaZoo thing."
That would 100% be, and we've seen that with indie TCGs, and that's a great way to go about it. If there's a grassroots effort to kind of build that up,
no grassroots. There's none of these.
I don't believe it's going to happen. My personal belief is I don't think so. This announcement was too little, too late for me, and I don't think there's
You
coming
were
back.
never in. It's too little, too late for me. You've been funding up the entire time you've been on the podcast. Too little, too late for me.
I'll go there then. It was too
little, too late for me.
Like,
oh my god.
My interest in MetaZoo has gone from I love MetaZoo, I'm all in, to when it's at the Mothman Festival, I'm right down the road. Maybe I'll go and try to get a Mothman promo because I really like the Mothman cards. Like that's my
I mean, listen, like I think it's gonna be like this is the moment. Like this, like we will see the next 12 months where this all ends.
Also, I opened 2 boxes of Cryptid Nation 2nd edition on the channel. It was a famous moment. Even Simon was there.
That is true. That is true.
All right. It'll be interesting.
I don't have those cards. I thought they were.
We will talk about it someday.
Every 3 months, quarterly MetaZoo update.
The quarterly MetaZoo. I like that. The quarterly.
MetaZoo quarter.
All right, everyone. That's all we got for you today. Hopefully you're not sick like us. Have a great holiday.
Not like us.
Just the 2 of us.
Have
Are
a
you
great
sick
holiday.
too?
It's the 2. I'm actually coming over it, so I'm good.
He's got
you
an ear
guys.
infection. That's why he couldn't hear us.
Wait, do you also have an ear infection?
No,
Oh.
No, that's
just
why
when Louis talks.
That's why he couldn't hear us the whole time.
Oh, that follows.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious.
My favorite jokes are the jokes that only you think are hilarious. They're the best because they're so terrible.
All right, everyone. Happy holidays. Remember to be kind to the people around you.
Wow. Not going back to the Merry
you
Christmas.
broke off the Merry Christmas in the intro.
Who scared you?
People, when thousands of people are watching, you stood by it. When only 2 people are left, you backed down.
What a coward.
It's me taking the Christ out of Christmas now.
Okay, we swung the other way. There we go. As we've been known to do on this podcast.
Go subscribe to Josh's channel. Go.
What's my channel name, dude?
Go buy box openings. Go buy Lorana at GameGrove.gg. Hit the comment section. Hit the like button. Have yourselves a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday. Remember to be kind to the family members around you, and may the zoo be with you.
And also,
what, not strangers? Nobody else?
I don't know what's going on.